by our own nature. It's part of the human condition to have that jump of joy, that inspiration to do something that is artistic, that is new. And the second piece is that nature encourages us and fuels us and that inspiration. And that's why I wanted to do it in June Lake. I wanted this to have a foothold in June Lake because the inspiration of nature in June Lake is just so dramatic and always present.
Amen to that, sister. We hear you loud and clear.
On the piano, and so, but I used to play much madder, wilder boogie woogie than that. And at MGM Studios, when you came in the main gate, to the left, where was this building. It was like an old wooden building with a whole bunch of different rooms in it, and they all had pianos in them. And they used that building for songwriters that needed to write, or for auditions for singers that would come in. And I used to go in there and find an empty room and bang on the piano, you know, and I'm sitting in there and I just would bang away and play. And this one time, this little guy came in, sort of opened the door and looked in, and it was sort of like a little penguin. And I thought maybe he was a janitor or something, needed to come clean up or something. And I said, oh, excuse me. You know, he said, no, I was listening to you out in the hallway. What are you doing? You know. So I started to explain to him about how I learned it by ear and was playing, you know, the way I learned it, you know, learned like a couple of notes and made it up from there. And he said, wow, this is, you know, he said, that's amazing. He said, that's really amazing. He said, I could hear you all the way down the hall playing in here. I said, well, you know, I just play by. I said, do you play the piano? And he said, well, I play a little. And I said, well, sit down and play, you know, play something. So he sat down and he said, oh, gee, I don't know what to play, you know. And I said, well, don't worry about it, you know, I just fake it, you know, I just play, you know, just play whatever you feel. It's mainly about feeling. That's what the piano is about. It's about feeling. So all of a sudden he goes, boom, and his fingers went like 90 miles an hour up and down the piano. He must have thought of the hardest thing he knew how to play, and he said, let me introduce myself. I'm Andre Previn, and I'm head of the music department here at the MGM. So that's my piano.
So my sense for the evening is I'd love to make a kind of sort of circle. Can we do that? Can we bring our chairs so that we have, come on in, Judy, come on in, Alicia. Let's see if we can all see each other.
This is a salon, not a saloon.
Well, it's a saloon too.
A little bit,
Saloon salon.
Right. And
Intimacy is the essence of salon.
right. And in fact, we even considered going back into that room. So, but this is Mike Ginther, and he's going to be our archivist, and he's photographing it for us, or videoing it, I should say. But my life in 5 minutes, I'd like to express how it is.
No, 5 words.
5 words. Oh,
5 minutes. He's been to one of our trainings.
I know. I think I can make it shorter than 5 minutes.
Make it
Brevity.
5 letters.
Oh,
Love it.
no. Okay. Lover, darling. Okay, so can we see everybody? Who's back there that I can't see? I don't see Natasha.
Well, she's just getting
Okay,
from
all right. 5 minutes, okay, time me, I'm gonna do it less. Born in Hollywood, my dad and mom discovered June Lake when I was a little girl. And I don't want my back to be okay, so you can lock the door if you want to.
I just closed it.
Anyway.
And took the bells off.
My first memory was running from Silver Lake Resort across the gravel road, because it was a gravel road then.
Still is.
It still is. I was tiny, and I remember running a beeline for Silver Lake, and my mom chasing behind me, trying to catch me. And that's my first waking memory, doing that. And so many, many years I lived up here. We were summer residents, and I had the gift of knowing June Lake and loving it so much. And then on and on and on, I went to college. I wanted to be a writer, a children's story writer, and illustrate children's stories and write. And academia I just wasn't there with it, and that's when I took my guitar and hit the road and started playing, and I moved up here permanently to be in June Lake and had a home up here. So fast forward, I started the band Blue Heaven and the Rainbow Girl up here. I was in my early 20s, raced down, we had a record deal, oh wow. We went to Hollywood to do all that. I went back at the T-Bar. So Mark, this is how we're all connected together, right? How am I doing with my time? So
Don't worry.
keeping
Don't worry.
on, no,
Timeless.
keeping on. So as the years went on, I started teaching school, and I discovered something called counsel, which is just sitting in circle and telling your stories and finding a heightened sense of yourself and others and connecting in like a village, creating a village of people. And this is where I met Marlo Hotchkiss in those years. And Marlo has been a mentor to me, and we sat in many, many circles together. And so I'm so happy that both these guys are here today, this evening with us. And I really thank you, Alicia. Really.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you. I'm
Okay.
honored to be here.
Okay, good, because Mono County has been supporting us, and the music festival. So our little June Lake Loop Performing Arts Association, JLLOOPPAA, we've been kind of putting along. So that's it. That's how I came to be here. We had, inspired by nature, we decided we were going to have a really big writers retreat, and kind of fell through. We didn't have enough people sign up, so we just decided to start small, just like this, and build a village in a community. So thank you, Judy, for being our hostess. So thank you. Okay. So that's my bit. Fabulous. So what you got for us?
Well, I was going to sing that song.
Sing that song.
Sing that song.
Yeah.
I thought we should perhaps start the festivities with a bit of music.
All right.
And this one came
I'm
to
gonna move
mind.
away. I'm gonna go over here so I can walk.
Okay, actually, no, I think I'll put this there because the song is a cappella.
All right.
And it's about community in actually places like this from back in the day. There were places in my youth, rooms of beauty, realms of truth, where no two chairs or tables looked the same, and men who seemed very old to us, and the stories that they told to us were honored in their person and by name. women who had traveled much and sung their way out of sorrow's clutch, shone with a spirit that put mere fame to shame. Hellhounds barked down darkened trails, shotguns bled rock, salt, and nails. Ships claimed loyal cabin boys, in fact, I was one. We heard of Polly, who was pretty, and gates 12 to the city, a moon of Odin, a house of the rising sun. But these tales, their magic spelling, was in the present, the living telling. Far beyond the gates, the trails, the full set sails, the nails, and rock salt in the gun. Banjo players from Kentucky, early jazz pickers from Reno and Truckee. What was her name? Victorian dress and cowboy boots sang Jelly Roll Morton's Sweet Substitute. Delta blues from Mississippi, and a look later labeled hippie on the Amerindian singer with the raven hair and the wooden flute. Pale pallid country fiddlers in string tie and vest, cowboy singers come yodeling out the west, gospel shouted from a Wurlitzer keyboard, Piedmont rag from the eastern seaboard. And youthful Drang und Strong sought to ape, absorb, become this heritage, and some did it well. Sometimes cowered by this reality, we were empowered by this reality. The songs they'd sing, the stories they would tell. For here was designed for living, sacred wisdom, the true thanksgiving, where a nation and its history rose shining from the mist as we stared into their eyes like some ancient well, reflecting all the stories they would tell. And their singing goes on ringing in my blood like water springing from the earth, the source, the birth, this ancient well. The songs they'd sing, the stories they would tell. Ooh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Very good.
Ah.
Okay.
Hi,
Hi, Marlo.
my name is Marlowe. Means, it's an old English name, means a little lake or pond in the glen. My very first childhood memory was of crawling across the floor. I wasn't walking yet, and opened a gunny sack. And inside were these beautiful feathered beings, still warm, mallards. I was a little too young to master life or death, but warmth I understood, and feathers were real. My age was pegged at 9 months by later analysis with adults who were keeping track of those things back then. The last time I was in June Lake was about 50 years ago. So it's really good to be back. Yeah, things have changed slightly. Yeah. I've I've had multiple careers. None of them really, well, that's not true. A couple are masterful. But mostly it's jack of all trades kind of skills. And I ended up splicing together some genes from my father, who was an engineer and kind of inventor, and my mom, who was a musician and poet, and came up with kind of an engineered sense of poetry. There's a ghost in the machine. And currently I sit in circles and with folks like Bonnie, and we talk from our hearts, speak from our hearts, listen with our hearts. And that's what I hear at the center of your beautiful song, is this heartful presence. I love words, always loved words. Inspired by nature. It's a little bit of a conundrum, actually. In spiritus, it's to, in spirit, to put spirit in, or be inspired by nature. But this is a little bit like taking a big, highly polished mirror out into the forest and holding it up and saying, "Okay, forest, see yourself." I would, because numbers are fun to play with, I would suggest that we are between 95 and 98% wild. That all of the processes going on inside of us are wild. They are heavy. There's no way we can control our digestion and our respiration and our blood chemistry and all that simply by thinking about it and deciding something. Maybe 2 to 5% of us is domesticated. So, and we are nature. We are nature. I'm a little nervous about putting nature out there, and we go visit it. We take pictures of it. We ask for inspiration from it. As if we're invited me here. The invitation was to get together with other pieces of nature and hold mirrors of ourselves up to each other. And I thought, well, this would be a great evening. Yeah. So I have something I want to read to you at some point, but it's not about nature. It's nature. Enough words. You're our weaver,
Okay,
and we are the web.
all right. Get my set list. So Mark and Marlo and I sat down with Mike, and we discovered that there's Mark, Marlo, Mike, and that my middle name, or so-called middle name, is Margaret, so there's the 4 M's, but that's my given name, and Bonnie happened to be what my dad called me, so it was, so we have the 4 M's eating here to see if you all, an invitation if you would like to write something that we will join together in a weaving. Would that be a good thing to do now?
It would be a wonderful thing to do.
Okay. And we had this kind of discussion at the lunch table of, well, should we use pens, or should we use crayons, or should we use markers? So we came up, we thought crayons might be a little too rudimentary, crude. And so, but the pens, the stylo à huile, is a little too fine pointed, and we don't want to get too fine pointed right now, right? No. So, and then Candy loaned me table mats from her restaurant. So we've got crayons and markers. And Marlo, do you want to describe the typewriting for us? And
Yeah. I want to extract a commitment before I describe what it is I'm asking you to commit to. So is everybody willing to play, even though you don't know the game and you don't know the rules?
Come on, Linda, you can do it.
You're talking to the most uncreative person.
That's what Andre Previn told Russell.
Who was the first person who told you that you were uncreative?
Me.
Do you believe everything you think?
No.
Good. There's a space here. Consider yourself invited, okay?
I'm invited.
Okay. So timed writing, and I'm indebted to Natalie Goldberg for this. She's a wonderful Buddhist lady. She's a capital B Buddhist. I think of myself as a small b Buddhist because I really enjoy spirits of every sort.
Yeah.
And I can't keep all those big B vowels. Anyway, Natalie offers this, and I pass it on to you. Everybody will get some writing materials, and then I'm going to, and things to write with, I'm going to offer you a prompt, an inspiration or a question or a koan, actually. And then there'll be a go, and you start writing, and you're whatever you have, a pencil or a pen or a magic mark or whatever, you just write, and you keep writing. Doesn't matter, but don't lift your marker or your pen from the paper. And don't stop, and don't cross anything out. Just write. And if you don't know what to write, just write, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. But believe me, you will, okay? And you go until I say stop. And when I say stop, I really want you to stop, okay? You have the rest of your life to finish this thing, and you really are inspired. And then we'll have the option of sharing with each other what we've come up with. No obligation, just an opportunity, right? And there's some gentle conditions on the sharing that I want to, for the sake of safety and ultimately aesthetics. So now that you do know, are you willing to stick your thumb up?
I can write, I don't know what to write as well as anybody.
At this point, nobody knows, right? This is one of the things about, the mind. It doesn't know so much. Okay, so get your writing implements ready. Okay. So that we can be ready to go. Everybody ready?
The question is, do I?
Other than a
That's
white
Mark,
man.
that's Billy, this is Bob. Right on the line table.
You could put the food to the line table and
This is a free form, a flow of consciousness exercise. If you know how, just switch your editor off, okay? So
I'm
that,
sorry, say that again.
switch your editor off if you know how to do that. And always keep that pen moving, right? It'll be approximately 5 minutes, so it's not going to be an arduous undertaking. You gotta leave time here. Take a chance.
do it, Linda.
I did the financial statements.
Write them.
Yeah, you
Write them up.
So, as I'm going to read you this little kind of inspired by nature haiku, and then what? When you hear the bell, start writing. The first things that come into your mind, given this prompt. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Keep breathing. So here's the prompt. You can keep your eyes open or closed to listen, but listen with your heart. What in your life is calling you? When all the noise is silenced, the meeting's adjourned, and the lists laid aside, and the wild iris blooms by itself in the dark forest, what still pulls on your soul? Stop. Don't finish that sentence. Lift your pen. The leaf falls from the tree without regret. Okay? So, any chance we could scoot in here to make a little, a nice little story circle here? Yeah, that would be great.
I'm sitting here.
Humor.
So, hide in the corner.
I'm a sound guy. Hide in the corner or walk around.
This way, our hearts literally can talk to each other. The little heart feels that we each broadcast, sending and receiving so much news about the wilderness with you.
I have a
Okay.
question, Marlo. What is it, the heart, the function of the heart, the information and the pulse, the actual electronic pulse that comes out from the heart that joins people in circles?
I'll answer that, but I need a whole bottle of wine.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
Maybe a bonfire.
Okay.
But it's, it's absolutely worth talking about in this context. But let's finish this exercise and then see where we want to go.
All right.
Scoot in here a bit.
I hope that's the chair. I was gonna,
Okay, that's scoot in.
I can't see Jeannie. Jeannie, I want to see you. Okay.
You're not going on writing, are you?
Can you guys
Yeah,
see
no,
Jeannie?
No, I have it, I promise.
Okay. All right. This feels more like a circle. Okay.
Yes, super.
Okay.
Now it's getting warm.
That's just my hot flash. I can heat up the village.
Can we talk about this after? I'll sure mind if you show me some. It's hot flashes, okay.
Want us to crack the door? No.
So, you're not obligated to share anything. It's totally voluntary. To get the most out of this evening, you should share. Okay? And I have some gentle limits on the sharing. You can read all or just a part of what you've written. It's your choice. However, I ask you to only read what you've written. And don't say anything else. In other words, no introductions, no apologies about how bad writer you are. No provisos. No, please forgive me or anything like that. And no explanations or editorial comments. Just simply share what you wrote. If you can read it.
yeah, mine gets progressively worse.
In good circle practice, I'd like us to start with whoever is called, like the Quakers say. You know you're called if you start sweating and looking away and don't make eye contact and so on. Your heart's beating. You know you've been called, okay? And then we'll just go around and everybody will have a chance. No obligation. And when we've completed the circle, we can do a little, we can step back, fly overhead, look down at it, and witness what just happened. Okay?
Great. How about I start, so I can be behind the camera afterwards?
There you go. Such a practical kind of guy. Go.
Wait a minute, as I kick the camera over.
Are you gonna turn it on?
It's on.
My side, Hillary was
Are you gonna come and sit
started
here?
right on the other sheet.
Do they? It's cute at first.
Oh, good, that's.
This is a selfie.
I'm still getting used to the...
There calls in the depth of the wood the shadow of an ancient well, vine-covered and moss-hidden, whose quiet water calls to some deep living water of my own in me.
Sing to me of my love of life, my friends, my family, my love, my man, and keep on keeping on. Never stop until this mortal place sends me off, reeling into the universe to catch the speed of light.
Anyway, mountains, trees, life. Walk that way. Earth, nature. Music, music, music. Stars and sunsets and more life. Take a hike. Look around. Be yourself. Be kind. Have a good time. Help others when you can. Take a breath once in a while. Enjoy. And did I mention music?
Running, painting, love, beauty, friendship, family, sun. Being, living, wanting to be more creative, outgoing, making a difference in someone's lives, to share the beauty of life,
Family,
love.
friendship, and love pull on my soul, for they are the most important things in my life. My love for people is great, and people are wonderful and full of joy and creativity. Their creativity is expressed in writing, music, art, and many other ways, bringing happiness to many.
And yet I am so very far away from them all. Surrounded by the mountains and lakes, they have become my family in a way, and help me to feel closer to those I am so far away from and love so much.
Sometimes the truth is right in front of me when my back is turned. Silence is the most important thing in my life when there's noise. I love to love, to love, to love. I'm mad at myself when I don't. Bonnie is my muse. She is there for me through thick and thin and fat. And I guess that's the thick of it.
Skin my heart.
So big, so huge, so infinitesimal. This soul of mine and yours, ours, this tiny world's soul, here spinning around a small star in the middle of an opportunity. Who loves me? Yes. Long life. Where? Short list. Who loves me? Long list. Where? Time out. So one tries, the end, my heart asks, soft ache is where in the middle of the very days of likeness. I hardly know how to be alone. How do I measure love when love is all I've known? Beyond measure from this moment, no horizon, no begin, no end, no form, only you there with that soft whisper and so sad eyes to remind me of what it is I'm seeking. Heart song, must tell that one, will tell, will do. Tell arrow in the heart. The village calls. Love in you is what is unfinished. In me, less so.
Yeah.
For everybody. Okay, little free-for-all of, what happened there? How do you feel about that? Do you notice any themes? How was your experience of your own words? Your experience of others? Just go for it.
Well, I noticed that I was writing about a well again after I'd sung the song. Oh, that's interesting. And it's not an image that I use constantly, but it's a good.
Yeah, good.
Kind of popcorn.
Yeah, Popcorn.
No particular order. I did want to say that I think listening in silence is really important. So I honor that you wanted to pass. I wanted to say that. That's good. And but I know you've got something good in there that you wrote. And I'm dying to know what you wrote.
She wrote down some figures.
Rewrote the financial statement.
We don't have to go around it because something often inspires you, or or I felt the same. No, you know.
I heard family, friends, and love.
That's what I was gonna say. I heard a lot about family, friends, and love.
I was sorry I didn't mention more about family. I thought about it, hearing everybody talk about it, and that's probably even more important than, I think I said silence, but family is probably the most important thing to me, really.
We're learning that silence is very important as well.
Yeah.
I just didn't think about it. But I think we all have in common the same things.
As Meister Eckhart said, there's nothing so much like God as silence.
I also wanted to say that the voice of the circle did speak for family. So family was spoken for you. Yeah.
Good.
Good.
I think Bonnie qualifies as family. You covered that pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think also like a longing for creativity. I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
That however that manifests, it's like everybody seemed to feel like, not everybody, but I heard that sort of theme.
I enjoy the creativity in the group. Thank you very much.
Oh,
And that.
The free form too, it doesn't have to necessarily be beginning of sentences and I apologize, my hand was cramping up at the end. So that's why I was like, when are we gonna ring the bell?
It's perfect timing though, you
Because you
know?
have such nice handwriting. Look at this.
It's like it took forever.
Oh.
It's not beautiful.
My situation, I couldn't read my own writing, which
Yeah, I know. I had
was the hardest part of it.
You don't write
Took me
a lot.
that long to
Does
read.
everybody do longhand here, or is people mostly keyboarding? Or?
I think we're old enough to
I
do
used
longhand.
I
I mean, the fact that it's, the
You have
cursive is not being
beautiful
taught
No,
in
I
school.
don't. But closely.
She's a lefty.
It's tragic.
It's very.
It has to
Oh,
be
but
so
it-
people
it
can
has a
have their
cursive
own
quality to
signature,
it.
you know,
It
if nothing else.
Right.
I mean, that's nice handwriting.
Well, I thought, and I was
So,
doing that.
apologizing or explaining yourself or whatever. Just
That's fine. I started to, and then I was like, you know what? I just started out with lists, like words, and then there are a couple phrases in there. So I think that's
how many
fun.
people have this little impulse to, I want to let you all know that this isn't the way I really write.
Isn't that though the ego
Yeah.
trying to raise its head to talk a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't written
Which is
since
difficult.
college, which was probably 18 years ago.
Oh.
And I was an English major, and I love poetry, and I got very good grades, and I think I forgot everything, but what I remember is making a circle, and then little spouts off the circle, just brainstorming. So that's what I was kind of starting with, is brainstorming, and hoping to get something out of it.
Oh.
So
How many people were visited by a memory like that or plunged into some past moment during this exercise? Well, you and I shared that.
I was hoping to
Yeah.
think of something from the past that I loved.
I did remember one. And I was saying, I was talking about singing. What pulls me is the singing and the music. It's constant. And I did remember. I didn't write it in there. One of my first memories also was singing in the bathtub. And we had a big old porcelain tub, and I used to.
Yeah.
My mother had to drag me out of the bathtub because it echoed, right, all the walls, and I could hear my voice come back to me. So yeah, when I was singing, that vision came to me. I was floating away in the bathtub.
I loved your little echo of of a wink to the audience, you know. Did I mention music? Yeah. You know, an acknowledgement that, you know. there's
Oh yeah,
other
did I
people
mention that? I was like, I'm running out of ideas, but yeah, did I mention
Put music
music?
in there once.
Yeah.
Because I love music.
Bonnie and I share this gestalt with a lot of circle work. Sometimes actually teach it in terms of the group soul. Now, we're comfortable with things like team spirit and so on, but group soul gets, you know, or hive mind or stuff like that gets to be a little
Hive mind?
hive mind. Yep.
Right.
I forget this wonderful word that describes what happens when flocks of birds all move together. There's a
Oh, yeah.
There's a huge, metamorphy, something like that.
Right.
I'll check it out. If you can pull it out of your own little Google, that would be great. But if we stop thinking of ourselves as a skin-encapsulated ego, and instead think that there is maybe one mind operating here, and that the story in this circle tonight, which has never sat together before, may never sit together again.
Oh.
But we have just together created something that's in the middle. And you can imagine a little bonfire there, which is warming all of us. And it happens in any group or any village. No one person can speak the whole truth. You know, we need to hear from everybody. And then there's this weaving that happens, this web. It is, I think, the best metaphor for me is ecology. There is an ecology of collective souls working together. At its best, a village is an ecosystem, not just including nature, but including nature. And so, you know, there was a lot of family here.
Yeah.
And if you expand your definition of self, you can enjoy all the words about family. So the invitation, I think, with story is to expand the definition of self, to be more inclusive. And it isn't even, oh, I'm going to include Pachamama, you know, I'm going to include Mother Nature. She's including us.
Yeah. Oh.
So just for tonight, play with ecology as, you know, what is the ecology of a group, or this group in particular? Where's the synergy of our collective longings, our collective yearnings? You know, the part of each of us that's unfinished. What could this group do if it got together?
None of us are smarter than all of us,
Yeah,
collected.
Tom Peters, I think.
Speaking of village, I did want to address the idea of this being our first inaugural Inspired by Nature forum. And I wanted to explain a little bit more that we are going to go forward, and Mike is filming us. So I want to make sure that everybody in the room is okay with being filmed, and that we're going to put it together on a YouTube or something like that, and with an invitation to create a larger village of writers with, and so we're starting to work on chapters. And since I just heard that you were an English major,
Anybody else here?
A long time
Who
ago.
hasn't written for a long time?
Probably not for 18 years. I've
Yeah.
not written or have done art.
I think that's extraordinary, because that's the voice we're looking for. We need an anchor here in June Lake, that you could create a chapter of writers, and you could invite your friends to have a circle and talk about writing and do a timed writing with them. And I encourage you and I invite you to be the home and the heart of Inspired by Nature here in June Lake. Because I have a little paper I'll give to everybody, because our goal is to create chapters around the states. I think we're going to have one in San Francisco, Certainly Nancy in North Carolina, my niece in South Carolina, she wants to do it. So we're going to create this virtual village of writers, and with a culmination next year, this time next year, to gather a bigger circle of writers and maybe bring in other writers who can give us, workshops. That's what we tried to do before, but we realized that it wasn't organic. It was like coming from the outside in. So coming from the inside out into June Lake and into Mono County, we really want to encourage that. And I know, Alicia, you're a part of a writing group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah, it's been going on for a long time. There was a writers' sort of conference that was held in Mammoth maybe, oh my gosh, I don't even know, 10 years ago. And so from that, it was China Galland. Would you recognize? Galland. She was our instructor.
Yeah.
And so from that group, we sort of just continued to meet, and it's a friendship, and it's
great.
Beautiful.
China's a charismatic
She's
gal.
so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was actually the first one that taught us about the timed right.
Uh-huh.
I know she got it from somewhere else, I think, but
You
it
all
was
got everything from somewhere
somewhere
else.
else. Yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have it's a small group, but it's fun.
So to be able to connect with them, I know that, okay, now I'm blanking out on her. Diane
Yeah.
had to go down south. She couldn't make it. She
Right.
had something she had to do with her eyes and such, so.
Right.
But I think there's a seed that's been planted here. I feel that, and I really, whatever we can do to encourage keeping it going. And so, the next step is next month, we're going to put it on YouTube and start making invitations for people to join. And so that's that part of the story.